Hey everybody, Chris here. So can the trading of Twitter stock and Apple stock affect the price of Dogecoin? We're going to explore that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. I do live streams on Monday nights and Friday nights. We have a good time. People in the chat asking questions, talking about Doge, other cryptos, any investments, and even real estate. So we have a good time with that, so please be sure to check that out. So what was going on yesterday with the trading of Apple stock and Twitter stock was kind of interesting. We saw the Twitter stock was not declining later in the morning, unlike the rest of the stock market. So we saw Tesla going down, but Twitter was staying pretty relative high because everyone kind of thinks that this deal with Elon Musk is going to happen with Twitter, and that's coming right now, targeted for October 28th. So we don't see a lot of selling of Twitter stock right now. So that's keeping it pretty level, and I'll show you that on the charts in a minute. But we also had this news yesterday that Twitter employees were going to be blocked from being able to sell any of their stock. When that news came out, the price of Dogecoin shot up because that's great news for Doge if the deal goes through. But then shortly after that news came out, we then had the news that the Apple iPhone 14 Pro, they were going to start curtailing back production on that because there seems to be lower demand than previously thought. Personally, not a lot of changes between the 13 and 14. People are like, why should I buy yet another phone? Particularly in this economic times where we're kind of sliding into recessionary times. So yeah, so when Apple, that news came out, we saw Apple stock take a nosedive. Most of the rest of the stock market took a nosedive, but not Twitter. Twitter was staying up high. But with that big drop in the stocks, it pulled cryptos down too. So that Dogecoin rally that was going on got cut. Big drop back down because Bitcoin was pulling down the entire crypto market. Things have steadied since then. Again, we'll look at that on the charts. But it's interesting to see how Doge can be influenced by these other things. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the charts and the news and possibly whether that big dip that some are suggesting are coming for Doge can actually really happen. So we'll talk about that. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. So we'll start by looking at the Dogecoin chart. Here we are on the 4-hour, 5.9 cents in this downward trajectory. We'll take a closer look at this little spike we saw yesterday here. This yellow line here is 5.5 cents. That was the last dip here that we saw on the 13th of October. And then zooming way out, we look back at the middle of June where Dogecoin had come down to 5 cents and dropped just below to 4.9. So that's the dip that I was looking for. I've talked about that on my live streams and other places where we could see that double bottom and that could be a possibility. So let me go to the 30-minute chart. And this was the news yesterday, big spike in the price of Dogecoin and big volume of buying there right when that news of the Twitter employees not being able to sell their stock. But then we had this big drop, and that big drop in the price of Dogecoin was also going on with Bitcoin. We saw a big drop in Bitcoin. And what was going on then, if I go to Webull here and I look at Apple stock, this was the Apple stock trading yesterday. So Apple, it was up and down, was still in the green here in early afternoon. And then that news came out about the iPhone 14 Pro, and then boom, the Apple stock just took a nosedive. And that nosedive was mirrored by Bitcoin and mirrored by then Dogecoin, where Twitter has just generally been trading pretty level. Even if we zoom out a little more, it was in 50s up to 51. And then there was that news that the Twitter employees weren't going to be able to sell. So Twitter went up. When that Apple news came out, there was a little drop in the price of Twitter, but not anything like we saw with Tesla. A big drop in Tesla price. Tesla was already down it was up pre-market way up, and it just traded down during the day. But Apple as well taking that big nosedive. So Twitter actually traded up and then ended up over $52 for a bit. Again, $54.20 is the Elon's buy price, but Twitter isn't going to trade that high because there's still that little percentage of uncertainty whether that deal is actually going to happen or not. So $51, $52 seems to be like the trading range for Twitter. So that's what we saw with Bitcoin. Bitcoin now just over 19,000, just tends to again be overall sideways trading right in this $19,000 to $20,000 area. So what's going on in the news? Dogecoin hash rate hits 7-month high amid Elon Musk's Twitter drama. So this is the global hash rate of Dogecoin that we see now increasing. Part of this, I think, there's more mining of Doge that's happening, particularly because Ethereum is, since the main Ethereum went proof of stake, miners were looking for something else, and they see this happening with Doge and this Elon Musk Twitter deal. So there's more mining of Dogecoin happening. So we see this increase. Plus, leading up to October 28th, there's a lot of talk that Dogecoin is going to have some huge volume spikes coming up as well. So we already see that happening with the hash rate. So are Doge investors also preparing for Musk's Twitter purchase? After the Twitter purchase, it's speculated Musk will move to implement the integration of Doge, the native token of Dogecoin blockchain, on Twitter. The billionaire CEO has often reiterated that he will continue to support Doge. So Doge investors are showing signs of optimism for a price pump when the purchase is completed. You Today reported recently that whale investors have been soaking up Doge in the market, especially whales on the BNB chain who have pushed the token back into their top 10 biggest holdings. So we see a lot of activity around Dogecoin happening. So here on Benzinga, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, start week on firm. Time for risk on, time for BTC. According to one analyst, we'll take a look at that. Bitcoin could experience a period of volatility ahead. Cryptocurrency gains track other risk assets. So we could see a risk rally even despite worsening economic data. And I don't completely agree with that. I still think we're going to be in the negative overall. But what we see are these individual news events and how they can move the markets, and the market's more reacting to these things than right now than the overall state of the economy, because that's kind of already priced in my opinion. So the Oanda senior market analyst Craig Erlam said Bitcoin's relation with risk assets hasn't been perfect lately. I saw more alignment last week. And Michael Vandepop said economic data is getting worse in the United States, but the bigger picture means we're end of the run with the DXY in yields, time for risk on, time for Bitcoin. So he's thinking that we're going to see this move in Bitcoin happening. And with the move in Bitcoin, we're going to see other cryptos respond as well. However, there are others that still think there's this big dip here. So, and on Dogecoin, the bottom could fall to 3 cents, the expert says. Who's that expert? It's Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto. He thinks that the crypto market could drop by another 50%, including Dogecoin. What he's looking at are the same 4-year cycle that I've been showing on my live stream. So we'll be talking about that again on Friday night on my live stream. So please be sure to tune in, and we'll show that graph. And what he's looking at was In 2018, Bitcoin had been hovering in the bear market around 6,000 to 7,000, and then had this dip down to 3,200. And so if you believe in these 4-year cycles, we could see Bitcoin dropping currently at 19 to 20,000 down near 10,000. And if that happened and there was that big of a dip, we could see Dogecoin going from 6 cents down to 3 cents. That's what he's talking about. Here's his Twitter, BitBoy Crypto, and he did this on the 17th. Let me go back here. Saw it. Bitcoin hovering in a seemingly bottomish range is nothing new. In 2018, BTC hovered at 6,000 to 7,000 from basically June to November before finally falling to the bottom at 3,200 in about a 1-month period. No reason to expect anything different here. So that's what he's saying. He's looking at those same charts that if we're indeed on these 4-year cycles, there would be that big dip. So that's kind of what I was looking at, thinking, okay, Doge is going to drop. Now, I don't think it's going to drop as much because I think there's too much support for Dogecoin, particularly with Elon Musk, that if Bitcoin did do this like a 50% drop, I don't think Doge would also be dropping 50%. So like I've been talking in my videos and my live streams, I tell you what I'm doing, not financial advice, but I do have a limit order set just under 5 cents for Doge. And if situations change and I kind of think that I really want to get that Doge purchase made before Doge drops that much, I may do that. With this Twitter enthusiasm happening here for the Elon Musk deal, we may not see that Dogecoin dip as we were just talking about. Instead, Dogecoin could take off. We could also see what we saw yesterday with Dogecoin starting to take off and then shorter showing up, shorting it back down, and then those immediate gains could be subdued. We've seen that before with the trading of Dogecoin too. So I'm going to play it by ear. Maybe I'll pick up half pretty soon, and then I'll save the rest of the half for later, something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the price of Dogecoin and its influence by Twitter, Apple, or other things. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.